Up next, we have Nathalie Yuen.
And thank you so much.
Okay, hello. My name is Nathalie Yuen. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm a member of the faculty at the Evergreen State College in Olympia, Washington, which is about an hour or so south of here. My presentation is Come Together Right Now, OveR. I'm sorry, I'm not going to sing it, but if somebody wants to at the end, you're more than welcome to. Okay. So this is my classroom. If you've ever been to Evergreen, it's like this austere, brutalist, like concrete structures. Please come and visit. I'm here today to share an activity I developed for the class Psychology and Popular Music, which really dovetails with a lot of the talks that we've had earlier today. I team taught this class with a faculty member in music, and we brought together psychology and popular music to examine the human experience. And I included this activity in the second half of the quarter for mostly first-time first-year students. And this was the second of two R activities. And I can confirm, one, nobody wants to learn R, and two, nobody cares about R. Alas, here we are today. Okay, so I invited students to work collaboratively in small groups, about 5 to 7 people per group. Each group was assigned a decade from the 1960s to the 2010s. And I planned this as a 3-hour in-class activity that included 3 to 5 minute presentations by each group. More specifically, I invited the groups to focus on 3 questions. First, what was the longest running #1 song of your decade? And to find this, groups used the top 100 Billboard data from Tidy Tuesday, link here. Let's see. #2, what is something interesting about your song? There were a wide range of really interesting things about songs that I learned. And then optionally, did you create a file in Audacity? So Audacity is an open source audio editing and recording software. Okay. The student presentations were amazing. And these were their findings. You can make your own judgments about the veracity of this mixtape. So in the 1960s, it was Hey Jude. In the 1970s, You Light Up My Life. In the early 1980s, it was Physical. In the late 1980s, it was Faith and Like a Virgin. In the 1990s, One Sweet Day. This is the first of 2 big decades from Mariah Carey. Followed by We Belong Together in the 2000s. And then in the 2010s, Old Town Road. Okay, so, but wait, there's more. As it turns out, collaborations with experts in the field are super important. So I'm excited about this activity. I go to my teaching partner. I'm like, we're going to do this great activity today. And he says, this is a bunch of garbage. Tempo is not measured in decimals. Tempo is measured only in whole numbers. And not only in whole numbers, but if you look at a metronome, it's in usually like 4-beat segments. And I was like, but this is the data set and it's like really cool. And we're going to do this activity. And he was like, that's not right. And I was like, oh. I was like, okay. So I look at the data dictionary, and in the data dictionary, it says the overall estimated tempo of a track in beats per minute. I was like, this is how the data dictionary says it. And he's like, it doesn't work that way. So it doesn't work that way. Okay. The second thing I wanted to point out is students also noticed inconsistencies. So remember, in the 1960s, the longest running #1 song was Hey Jude. The students put together this fantastic presentation in which they featured this graph. This is not generally the trajectory for #1 songs, in case you were wondering. So another group did some further investigation and found out there were actually 2 versions of Hey Jude on the charts, one by the Beatles and one by Wilson Pickett. This is more like a trajectory you would see. And the 1960s group, the group who had created the original slide, had only filtered for song rather than song and performer. Okay, so here's the top 3 hits of this activity as I'm running out of time. First, the interdisciplinary focus. So important to bring together all these different fields and disciplines. Number 2, students got a lot of practice using R in a very low stakes environment. And number 3, students came together over R. Ta-da! Okay, here's my information. Thank you very much, all of you, and to all the organizers. Here's my socials. It's Twitter, not X. That's the hill I'll die on. Thank you.